Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Sorcery. Previously, we made our way north through the city, visited the Artist Quarter, snagged a nice meal, saw a few sights, gleaned a lot of overheard information, and then we met up with Flanker, who challenged us to a game of dice. The stakes, his freedom. And I actually lost. We lost to Flanker. And now he's a free man, and he can do whatever he wants, including kill us if he wants. And then I slummed it outside without an inn, and I nearly got kidnapped by some slavers, so that's fun. Well, it's a new day, and I can get to the east side of the city, so let's go ahead and see what happens. As the sun breaks over the rooftops of Lower Carre, the city looks clean and bright, like a stone polished by a shine by a fast-flowing river. The effect lasts for a beautiful moment, and then the people of Carre begin to stir, opening their windows to throw out their slop, shouting and cursing at each other as they do so. Right? Looks like the bridge is our only choice. The market traders begin to set up their stalls, fighting and threatening each other to get the spots closest to the ships. A few sly types, probably pickpockets, begin to prowl the shadows between the stands. There are still areas of Lower Carre you have not explored, but you cannot afford to waste more time in these slums. If the nobles are to be found, they will be on the other side of the river, and if they are not to be found, you must reach the gate and try to find another way through. Right. I'm thinking it's not exactly gonna be a fail state if I reach the gate without learning the 4 passwords. Or rather, the 4 parts to the password. It just might be a bit of a toll to get through. I might lose something in the process, but buy breakfast, wait for the bridge to be lowered. May as well. Let's see what the prices are. You wander the stalls looking for something to eat and find a stand selling bomba bread for 2 gold pieces. The smell is quite nourishing. Ooh, yeah, bomba's that nice fruit that the old man down south in the Cantopani Hills gave to me. Or was it Shamutanti Hills? One of those. Buy some. You buy a slice of bread. It is pleasantly filling, with a sweet, meaty texture. Meaty bread. Great. You thank the woman at the stall, then head over to the river to wait for the bridge to be lowered. After a while, a grizzled old man arrives and unlocks a small booth by the harbor bridge. He goes inside and closes the door behind him. Yeah, knock on the booth. See what's going on. Impatiently, you go over to the booth and knock firmly on the door. The old man lowers down the window and leans out of the booth. What you want? Good morning, sir. Ha, the man replies. Are you going to lower the bridge? Still trying to be polite. The man pulls a face, curling down the corners of his mouth. It's not yet time. When is time? The man leans into his booth to consult something. His head reappears a few moments later. Tide's gotta go darn, he says. Oh. Tide's gotta go down. That seems like a safety measure. If I bribe him to lower it, even if that works, it might be dangerous. I don't know. Wait, that would take a long time, though. How much would it cost to bribe him? Oh, apparently 3. I'll pay you if you lower the bridge, you tell him. 3 gold pieces. The man looks at you for a moment, then shrugs. Tide's almost there, he replies, but if you want. You hand over 3 gold pieces. The old man leaves his booth and goes over to a contraption on the waterfront. He begins to heave and wind an ancient winch. It seemed to be quite hard work. He is trying to move the whole weight of the bridge single-handedly. Leave the expert to his work. You let the man struggle and sit back in the sunshine and wait. Sweat beads on his forehead and he heaves and puffs as he works, but eventually the bridge clunks down into place. You salute the man cheerfully and get to your feet. Cross the bridge. You cross the bridge over the Jabaji, which runs like a slime trail through the center of the city. We made it to the other side. You have reached the banks of Upper Kare. The buildings here are not as grand as on the south side of the river, but they are in much better condition. Fewer people live on this side, away from the fields and the hills, but those that do are richer. They are also most likely more dangerous, but of course it is on this side of the city that the North Gate stands. Start moving. You follow the road away from the river, towards a fork in the road. If there are any nobles still in the city port, their houses are most likely to be on this side of the river. But which way? Alright, fork in the road. The early morning sun is beginning to wake the streets of Kare. A few creatures roam this way and that. In one corner, a spring bubbles with fresh water. I don't exactly need stamina refreshments, so ask someone for directions. You stop a passing creature. Excuse me, I need to ask you. The creature's head is bowed and it doesn't look up, but it pulls itself free and hurries away. It is too miserable to speak. Okay, look around. Looking left, the road heads through a residential area that seems well cared for. A short way off to the right is an open plaza. There is nothing for it. You will have to explore for yourself. Right. Well, looks like going right would take me immediately to the Fireview Square. There's supposed to be a noble living off of this, but the Red Quarter. It looks like this goes north, and I can take an arcing path that goes back to the square, though actually it looks like this huge building here, if that is indeed an explorable thing, would be a bit mutually exclusive with the square. Who knows? Alright, let's head north. You follow a narrow, winding street past shops and stalls. It is still early in the day, and they are not yet open, but there are stirrings from within the houses as the day's activities begin. I wonder if I could shop there if I actually waited and the time had passed. A face appears at one window and seems to watch you pass, although the creature's eyes are closed, and you are not sure that it actually notices you. Wave at the creature, call out, walk on by. Eyes are closed. One of the nobles is blind. Wave? You wave to the creature, but it does not react. Its eyes are still closed. Another similar creature stands in a doorway across the street, washing themselves from a bucket. This one is thin and spindly with a long face, not exactly a human, and not an elven either, but something in between. Ooh, that is some very disturbing art. Greet it or ignore it. I mean, I can't imagine greeting it would be like picking a fight. What could go wrong? You try to greet the washing creature, but it too has its eyes closed. Perhaps it is soaping its hair and doesn't want to sting its eyes. At the end of the road, under a low arch, a group of youths are loitering, talking, and kicking stones into the gutter. They notice you and begin to point and talk amongst themselves. Ooh. Okay, a group of youths pointing out a stranger in this dense city? That smells of trouble. They do not have good intentions. Let's see. Alright, take a side street to avoid them. You see an opening to one side and nip down it. The youths immediately give chase. They are quick runners and you will have to move fast to lose them. But these alleyways are tight and you cannot see what is around each corner as you approach. I will not run. Run to the first junction. Wait. If these alleyways are tight, they would have to move single file, wouldn't they? If I, in this alley, now turned around to confront them, they wouldn't be able to swarm me, would they? I will not run. You stop and turn to face the creatures. You catch up. Who catch up with you in moments, that's a typo. You own this street, I see. I see you are very powerful. I wonder if you have any idea how powerful, a youth replies quietly. Would you like to find out? No? I can do without. The leader laughs. One of the other youths blinks once, and for a moment you see his eyes, flashing red balls of flame. I should think not, the leader whispers. Leave him. Him? I'm a lady, hey, one of the youths says. He's not worth anything. He's worth a little, another replies. You realize he has picked your pocket. You reach the far side of the group and stride smartly away. I had so much more gold. They stole my gold. Son of a... Can't have shit in the red quarter. You find your way back to the street and follow it along until it forks. A narrow alley heads right between narrow buildings, while the main road curves away out of the sight toward a wooded cliff. Right. Follow the road. I want to get to these big houses. Absolutely. You follow the road as it curves around. To your left, a line of buildings has been constructed out of the side of a natural cliff face. Above them is a thick area of trees. On the right, you pass a building bordered by a wall almost as high itself. Look at the high wall. You crane your neck to look at wall. It is several times your height. Whoever lives in here is keen to keep the inhabitants of Kare out. Or keen, perhaps, to keep whatever is inside in. Their surface is rough and pockmarked with age. At the very top, something gleams. Did you see something move between the pines that line the ridge? You stop and stare, but make out nothing. Perhaps of movement, of a low shadow, but perhaps it is the sunlight through the shifting branches. But certainly these trees must be thick with wild animals, and the creatures that live here must be plagued by them, unless the creatures that live here are more dangerous themselves. Alright. I want that shiny thing at the top of the wall. Cast a spell. I don't like my odds of climbing it myself. Maybe there's some sort of spell that makes me lighter. B-I-G. Grow in size. I'm not entirely sure. They'll let me reach the top. It sounds like a very, very tall wall. F-O-G. Summon darkness. No, what would that even do? H-O-W. Find safe passage. Okay, technically, I might be able to do that to gleam the safest route while climbing the wall, but... S-U-S. Sense danger. That's more about the forest, I think. W-A-L? Create an invisible wall? No. Ooh. Okay, hold on. How big did they say the wall is? It is several times your height. maybe Big could do it. Maybe Big could do it. Yeah, let's try it. B-I-G. You cast the spell, inflating from your boots to your neck until you are 3 times your normal size. You are now about as high as the wall itself. Look at the gleam. You peer down at the gleam on top of the wall. It is a small yellow jewel, not gold, but probably not valuable. Pick up the jewel. You pick it up anyway to find it is a sun jewel. This is an extremely lucky find. Sun jewels are rare and highly valuable. You drop it carefully into your pack. Then the spell fades and you shrink back down to your normal size, the wall towering above you once again. Now I had the option to vault into the wall. I feel like breaking into a noble's abode would be pretty damn rude. Let's see. You know what? Honestly, that's looking more like a prison to me. That looks like a prison. There's a tower, fortified gates, an outlying shack, and a big square building. Meanwhile, this down here, this looks residential. There's a well, there's a wooden gate, there's land. It looks like a regular house. I feel like breaking into that compound here would be a very bad idea, so I'll take my chances, move on down the road. Time to move on. Right. Past the wall. You follow the road as it narrows. The houses built up against the cliff face become narrower too, with single buildings divided and divided again, until each dwelling is no wider than its own doorway. Okay, odds of a noble living in one of these is pretty slim, but why not knock on a door? You pause to knock on a random door. After a short pause, it opens to reveal a Svind woman wearing a bright blonde wig. She seems surprised to see you. Who are you? She demands. Who sent you? I'm from the council. No one sent me. Let's be honest. What do you want? She folds her arms crossly. I need somewhere to stay. Don't want to impose on a stranger. I'm looking for a man called Lorag. Now, which noble was Lorag? Hold on, let's look at my notes. Let's see. Lord Lorag. One of the nobles of Kare. I guess there's really nothing else, huh? Crap. Well, maybe she does know. I'm looking for a man called Lorag. Lorag, she nods. I know him, but this isn't his house. He's got a nice big one up the road. You know him? I do, in a fashion, she says. You want to talk to him? I do. Easily done. She holds out a palm. Tip? Yes, pay her a gold. You pay her a gold piece, and she curtsies extremely poorly. Much obliged, she says. Say Micha sent you. Then she closes the door, a most fortunate encounter. Right. Up the way, she said nothing about a split, so it's doubtlessly this. I'll look further on. The road turns and heads roughly southeast once more, but you have been spotted. A group of young Orklings are scurrying towards you. Oh God. Another group of ragtag children. Look at these. Oh, these little hellions. Oh no. Don't antagonize them. Wait for them to reach me. You stop and wait for them to reach. Hello, they pipe. 1 gold piece for our bellies? One demonstrates, pointing into an open gob which lacks teeth and, you notice, also lacks a tongue. Their hands poke at you and push outwards, hoping for a donation. Give the Orclings a gold piece, throw a gold piece away, ignore them, cast a spell. Maybe I could make a pile of fake treasure. Hopefully that's one of the spells. I feel like if I just threw 1 gold piece and told them to go fetch it, they'd get real mad, but... Let's see. D-U-D? Illusion of treasure. Hell yeah! This will surely work. You cast the spell and piles of gold and treasure spill from the sleeves of your jacket and all over the road. The Orclings go instantly into a frenzy of collection, running over each other and beating each other up, stuffing handfuls of gems into their tunics. You take the opportunity to slip away. Right, up the road. Here we are at the gate. You continue up the road, leaving the chattering Orclings behind. After a short distance, you come across a large building made of stones and mortar. Look at the building. It stands alone inside its own patch of grounds, and unusually it seems to be in a state of good repair. A large L is carved on one gate post. For Loreg, perhaps. I wonder. The main road continues straight past the house. Approach. You enter the gate and follow the path to the front of the house, between tall, well-tended trees. This place seems quite lived in. Ooh. Interiors? But, let's see. The front door or creep around the side? Nah. Micha sent me. The door to the house is solid oak wood, decorated with elaborate carvings of vines and trees and serpents. In the middle is a great brass knocker. Knock. You rap 3 times. After a short wait, an elderly man in a gown opens the door, with a strange, spiky lizard creature winding around his legs. Yes, he demands, and who are you? You look a trustworthy sort. Micha sent me. Did she really? I wonder why she did that. He pats the lizard at his feet, clearly relaxing in your company somewhat. Please, I need your help. You certainly look like a drowning dog, he remarks coolly. He sighs. It seems you have placated him. I'm sorry to be rude, he says. In this city you have to be careful. For every savior you meet, there's a Vangorn waiting to slit your throat wide open. Please, will you come in? Thank you. The old man gestures for a spiny lizard pet to retreat. Step aside, Ericius, and let the stranger in. Neat. We're in. You step inside his house. The walls are decorated with ornate hangings, and on the walls are numerous curious artifacts. The man turns to you. Before you enter further, please, hand me your weapon. Right. We'll do it. We're gonna be committed to being friendly. Give him my sword. The man accepts your sword and places it on a table by the door. You have a second sword in your pack, after all. My old blade is concealed. Right, so I do get in a scrap. I have the option to get in a scrap, but I'll be weaker than I usually am, but at least I can fight and defend myself, if need be. Hopefully not. Come in then, he says, putting out his hand. My name is Loreg the Elder, and I am a scholar and a sage. He gestures you further into the house. This way, please. Oh, hell yeah. All right, follow Loreg. You follow him into his study, an elegant room lined floor to ceiling with books. I think I overheard a plot to kill you. Right, the steam room conversation. If I can tell him this, he might really like me. I think I overheard a plot to kill you. In the bathhouse, I heard two men discussing it. They were being paid by Sansis. Really? Lorig raises an eyebrow. Sansis is still after me then. I thought after I turned his last hitman into a hobbitch, a hobbitch, he'd given up. Well, I appreciate the warning, but I won't be here for much longer. Unless, he adds after a moment's thought, you are the assassin yourself. I'm not. You would say that, Lorig replies. Indeed, I don't think there is any way for me to be sure. I simply have to trust you. He looks quite unconvinced about this idea. The scholar's pet is winding around his leg. He ruffles its spine absently. There, Eurystheus, he murmurs. There's a good beast. Take a little look around the study. You glance around at the shelves, lined with hundreds of volumes on magic, maps, learning, weaponry, falconry, carpentry, and every other subject you can imagine. The only gap in the shelving is for a painting of a young man. Lorig himself, perhaps, though it does not look like him. And the tag below reads, Krishanti. The old man seems to have a thought and goes over to a cupboard, taking out 2 glasses. Some wine while we talk. Oh, sure. I will drink, you declare. He pours you a glass. It is rich, delicately flavored, and warms you to your guts. Ask Lorig about the painting. Well, it might be something really personal. At any rate, there's something most important here about the North Gate. I am told you can help me open the North Gate. He looks at you seriously. You are on a mission, I see that. But is your mission to destroy Kare, or to save it? I am only passing through. To the Backlands. No one travels to the Backlands without a reason. So you must be strong and intelligent if your story is true. Let me see. And he goes over to his bookshelf, returning with a paper folder. You know, of course, how magic comes to be in this world? Through the stars. Right? Well, magic is channeled through the stars, but I don't know if that's the origin. I want to say it's the stars, of course. He nods. Good, then you will understand what I will show you now. He opens the folder and spreads out several sheets of rough paper across his desk. They contain a pattern of strange symbols grouped in 3s. Ah. Well, that must be the noble himself, then. Quite an interesting fellow. These were discovered painted on the walls of the Dadule caves, he explains. I have paid handsomely to have them smuggled to me. Even the first noble of Kare does not know I have them, and if he did, his rage would be terrible. Do you know what they are? Tell me. He grins excitedly. They are spells, but not spells as we would have them. These are painted by cave people before the Dark Ages, over 3,000 years before Chalana discovered the crown. They perform the same magic because the stars have not changed. But as you can see, the spells themselves are different. See this one, and he draws out a sheet of paper on which is drawn the following symbols. Again, neither partial T or an upside down L, a small T, an H, and a W. That looks like THW? Or if it's upside down, then it would be MHL. Or Maybe I could impress him if I really got through this. I'm gonna assume that's in the right orientation. Well, maybe it's a mistake to say that's a partial letter. It looks like a complete. So that'd be... It reminds me of law, but what does it do? We will never be completely sure, he replies. He shakes his head. But based on the images found with this spell, I believe it is a spell of confusion, one which will muddle and befuddle any creature over whom it is cast. We know a similar magic now, but of course the incantation has changed. Well, that sounds like... What was it? Mud? Or was it DOP? A spell of confusion. Okay, wait. W... If I think of that as a V... L-I-V? I don't know. This is weird. I'm not sure I'm supposed to figure this out. Well, it sounds like a useful spell. I suppose so. Certainly these people are great hunters. He moves the paper aside and brings out another on which is painted... WQJ? What do you make of this one, he asks. What the frickin'... Okay. Okay, so that one up above looked like law, kind of. And law was about commanding something, which is like the opposite of making something dumber. So maybe it's about finding a similarity? Oh, actually. W-A-L. A spell of protection? Looks like wall. Yeah, wall. We almost were able to cast that earlier. A spell of protection, a spell of healing, a spell of mind reading, a spell of confusion. I'm gonna go with protection. Lorig shakes his head. No, that is not correct. Such spells existed, of course, but this is not one of them. Guess again. Lorig looks at you expectantly. W-Q-J... J-Q-W... Oh my god, okay, I'm just gonna pick something random. Mind reading. Oh! Quite right, Lorig claps his hands. Well then, I see you are truly a sorcerer. Here, then, is my puzzle. He reaches over for another folder and opens it slowly and cautiously as though the contents might try to bite him. Wait. He lays a sheet out on the desk. This spell was found inside one of the deepest caves, a place so old and ancient it had never been revisited since the time when those people set their home fires all across the Shamatanti hills. The painting beside it indicated that this was their most powerful, most terrible magic. But as you see, the spell is partly lost. You understand his meaning. On the page are drawn 2 symbols, not 3. N-Q... The last symbol is unreadable. The scholar leans in urgently. A rock fall destroyed part of this picture, but clearly I wish to know. What was the last character? Oh my god. This is the most esoteric bullshit I have ever seen. Right, so maybe I can reverse engineer this. So WQJ was a spell of mind reading. What the hell? Okay, so the weird cue is shared between these two. Cripes. Oh, God. Maybe I was just being a huge idiot and this is kind of obvious, but... God, maybe... I wonder if there's something I could have explored in Act 1 that would have solved this for me. I cannot help you. Well, yeah, well... No, I believe that you can't. No matter. I will continue my researches. One day, someone will help me. With that, he packs away the sheets. His manner has abruptly changed. He stands and gestures at the door. Please, you must leave. Wait, but the spell line. I demand it. I need to know the spell lines for the north gate, you say. I am sorry. You will tell me willingly, or you will tell me in your dying breath. Oh, God, I just went nuclear. The scholar nods. Or I will tell you a lie, and you will not know it until the guards come to haul you into the dungeons, and from there you will curse my name. Please, I am an intelligent man, and I perceive you are an intelligent woman. You cannot hurt or kill me, but you cannot learn what I will not teach you. So I say again, go. Cast a spell. I have a skullcap. Dare I dream that I could read his mind? T, 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 E, L. Read minds. You cast the spell. The scholar watches you cautiously, expecting some kind of attack. But when nothing seems to change, he relaxes a little. And then you begin to hear his thoughts. He doesn't think much of you, that much is clear, but then you catch something else. Tumblers 2 sealed deep inside. It must be the spell line. You nod your head and turn to leave. He shows you to the door. You retrieve your sword as you go. Made it. Barely. You return to the main road. Alright. Loreg down. 3 more to go, and I know that 1, or at least 2, are in the necropolis, which is just to my south now. Right. The road continues on between dense houses on either side, when suddenly you begin to smell a sharp, acrid smell. Burning. Looking up ahead, you see a column of smoke. It's a district on fire. Push onwards. Let's take a look. You stride forwards, running a corner in the road until you see the source. It is a fire, but not a blazing house. Instead, it comes from an enormous forge set into a large blacksmith's shop. The blacksmith himself is at work, hammering away at a flat-bladed sword. Oh, hell yeah! You approach the blacksmith and try to attract his attention by knocking a few of his display items off their shelves. What? Why? But it seems the blacksmith is quite deaf. Years of hammering on sparking metal has left him quite oblivious to everything around him. Steal something? Nah, tap his arm. You walk over and tap his arm, and the blacksmith jumps. Didn't see you there, he bellows, too loudly. The man is clearly not that bright. I didn't mean to scare you. Not scarred, the blacksmith replies hotly. Me? Of you? Nah. The blacksmith polishes his blade lovingly. Tell me about your swords. This one is my finest, he replies proudly, indicating the blade he is currently polishing up. A blade of large hand. Large hand? Large hand, the blacksmith agrees. It's large handry. Large handry. Large handry. Large handry, legendary? Try the blade. You reach out to try the blade, but the blacksmith catches your arm. I warn ya, he says. Once you have tried it, you won't want to have any other, and it's not a cheap blard. I'll risk it. The blacksmith shrugs and releases your arm. Garon, then. You pick up the blade and swing it through the air. It sings. The weight is perfect, the metal sharpens, the balance so delicate it becomes almost an extension of your arm. This is the finest blade you have ever held. How much? The blacksmith grins. I tarled ya. Ready for it? 40 gold pieces. 40? The blacksmith nods. That's right, 40. Didn't I begin this video with just over 40 coins? Oh, curse those pickpockets. Oh my god. Hegel. I'll give you half that, you begin, but the blacksmith only laughs. You aren't talking to a child, he replies. 40, or I sorrel it to the next one by. Oh no, the sword! I want it! I don't have that much. The blacksmith nods and takes the blade back with loving care. It'll find its owner sooner enough, I'm sure. Know anything about the nobles? That don't sharp here, he roars back. The blacksmith quickly hammers something, the noise makes your head spin. I'm interested in the North Gate spell? I make SARS, he replies with a shrug. Not magic. You want a sard, maybe? The blacksmith goes over to the back of his shop and downs a quick mug of ale. I'd best do work, as he says as he returns. Begarn. Then he begins to hammer so loudly you fear for your hearing, so you quickly run out of the shop. Oh man, I want that sword. You walk between the narrow buildings until you reach a fork. To the left, the road continues towards some kind of bustling market, while to the right it leads down a shorter street. In the center of the fork is a great bronze statue with some kind of pot at its feet. Whoa. Oh, doggy. Hey, doggy. Look at the statue. The statue is of a giant brute wielding a club, and at its feet is a large pot filled with gold pieces. This must be one of Kare's many gods, with the pot intended for worshippers making offerings, although none of the passing creatures seem to be throwing any in. Oh, that just screams of bullshit. Look down the short street. Looking down the short street to the right, you see a sign above a doorway reading, "The Gambling Halls of Vlada." Several seedy-looking creatures mill about on the steps. Cheerful creatures go in, and miserable-looking ones come out. Time to move on. Okay. Left fork to the market. The gambling halls. Or the statue. Through the arc? Whoa, I could head straight north. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to that statue. We're gonna steal all the gold. It's gonna bring me up to exactly 40. And then I will deal with whatever curse the god lays upon me. And, I'm gonna buy that sword. You go over to the statue and look into the pot. It seems to contain almost 20 gold pieces. Look up at the statue. Tilting your head, you look upwards at the statue. He is an imposing figure, at least 4 times your height and solidly armed. You do not recognize the god depicted, but his presence is so close to the gambling halls, suggests he is either a god of prosperity or a god devoted to punishing those who do not pay their debts. I need it. What's the worst that could happen? Take the gold. You reach down and scoop the money from the pot into your pouch. Easy enough. But then a creaking noise makes you freeze. The statue's come to life, hasn't it? Look up. Looking up, you see the statue's right arm sweeping down towards you. That thing doubtlessly has crazy reach due to its side. Don't evade, just dodge. Leap left. You jump left straight into the path of the club. Oh. I thought it was going down vertically, not horizontally, which sends you flying backwards. Picking yourself up quickly, you see the bronze giant has leapt from its pedestal and is advancing towards you. Cast a spell. I need something to even the odds. It's one thing to fight a creature of flesh and bone, but metal? No. Y-O-B. Summon a giant. That would certainly even the odds. M-U-D. Create quicksand. Oh, something that heavy, like that statue. Oh, it would surely sink like crazy. S-I-X. Clone the caster. Maybe I could get away if I did that. L-A-W. Control non-intelligent creatures. This is a construct, not a creature. S-I-6. That's 6. Okay. I'm thinking Yob is a tool for the job. Summon a giant. You throw down a tooth and cast the spell. The tooth erupts into a plume of smoke, and in its place emerges a giant, easily as tall as a bronze statue. The two colossal creatures face each other down, and the street clears around them. This will either be a titanic fight or an extremely brief one. If I ran for it, who knows which direction I'd run. I'd want to go back to the blacksmith. Run for it. You run away, leaving the two Goliaths to settle their differences. You return to the blacksmith's with enough gold to buy the legendary sword. The man greets you with a beaming smile. You hired to take my baby, is ya? The price is same, 40. I'll buy it. You declare grandly, handing over 40 gold pieces. The man hands the sword to you in return. Its lines are perfect, its weight delicate. It is the finest blade you have ever seen. You thank him and return to the square. Alright, let's look at the aftermath, but no, actually, weapons. Legendary sword +4. Oh, wait, I could continue up the road, huh? I could backtrack. You know what? This feels different. I can actually fully fledged backtrack. Wow, maybe the game's really gonna make me stuck here until I get all parts of the door. Huh. Okay, let's return to the statue, see what's going on. You head up the road towards the giant statue once more. The statue lies face down in the street. A few locals are now sitting on the back of the statue eating their lunch. Wow, my giant won! I wonder if I stuck around if I could have gotten some prize. The day is drawing on. Right. Through the arch to the Fireview Square, Left Fork, or the gambling halls. I don't even have money to gamble with. I have 6 gold. Yeah, things are getting sparse down here. God, that was where another noble will be, man. Through the arch. You head back down the road, under the arch, and into the plaza. On this side of the square, the main road continues on through a low arch. 1,000 other alleyways lead off in all directions into Upper Carre. Ooh, looks like a crowd's gathered. Approach the monument. You approach the crowd around the monument, which is so thick it is hard to see inside. Here, says one of the creatures whom you elbow aside, be careful. Sorry? You apologize, and the creature huffs and moves away through the crowd. Clambering up the steps of the monument, you finally get to see inside, but the monument seems to be empty. There is just a circular rug that fills the upper space. Circular rug. The crowd murmur and whisper. Ask someone about it. What is this monument, you ask one of the creatures. Can't you tell? The creature replies, were you born yesterday? Suggest an idea. Circle traps on the east side of the city. It's a trap. The creature nods. You're right, stranger. Several red eyes have disappeared into it. We're waiting to see if anything comes out, and if it does, he opens his eyes for a moment, and you catch a glimpse of burning red fire in the sockets of his skull. Then the eyes close once more. And what is this, a flame of frenzy? The crowd are clustered around the monument as though expecting the rug inside to move. I'm just gonna step away. You step away, shaking your head. You can make no sense of it. Look back at the monument. You cast another look at the monument and the crowd around it, but nothing seemed to have changed. The creatures are still waiting for something. A peddler with a tray around his neck walks past you in the square. Englewort, Blimberry, Poultice of Millweed. Talk to the herbalist. You cross the square. You stop the herbalist. Good day, he greets you. Can I interest you in a poultice? A salve? What are you selling? Let me show you. He rubs his hands together. For instance, this. He digs around on his tray. A mustic ointment. Made from pure mustic. What does it do? Mustic is a powerful hypnotic, he replies. It can make you believe almost anything. He holds it out for you to smell. Nice friggin' try, asshole. Don't smell it. You lean away, careful not to inhale from the salve. He smiles and takes a deep breath himself, sighing happily. Give it to me. It's mine. The man nods, his pupils dilated wide. Of course it is, he agrees. My apologies. The herbalist hands over the pot of ointment, wafting it close to your nose. You notice a delicate fragrance as you place it into your pack. Oh. Now, says the herbalist, I'd like you to give me all of your money. No? Of course, you reply. The herbalist smiles and holds out his hand. Give him nothing? You hand over 6 gold pieces as he asks. Okay. At least we'd found this while I was just down to 6. And, not while I had farty. Excellent, the herbalist smiles, then tips his head to you. Have a good day. Pausing only to retrieve his mustic from you, he walks away across the square. He also took my mustic. I didn't even get it, I just lost the money. A man pushes a wheeled cart of fruit and sets up a stall. Your headache begins to clear. You look around for various exits from the square. Alright, well, you choose an alley or back to where the statue was. Oh. Unfortunately, without a penny to my name, I doubt I could do anything with the gambling or any of the stalls that were set up here. So, frankly speaking, I think my best choice here is to go down this alley, which takes me across the, near the river. And actually goes to the Fallen Quarter and the Gardens of Briar. And that, in turn... Actually, it looks like there might be a little cave here, connecting to the necropolis. Curious. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna double check that I still have my weapon. Yeah, legendary sword. Sword chain, all good. Magical items, still got the sun jewel, 2 giant's teeth left, some blueberry juice, can always drink it, cloth skull cap. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. Everything's good. My, what a curious adventure. The East Folk people in the east side of the city, they don't mess around. More dangerous indeed. They stole all my money, nearly had to escape from groups of children. I nearly got into a fight with some noble. The statue nearly crushed me to death. I mean, it got one solid blow on me. I'm hurt from it. But at least I got a legendary sword. Alright, I actually want to take another look at my clues. Census of the first noble of Kare knows the full spell. Vic runs several businesses. We'll say Vic for first scholar. Man, well. They said that one of the nobles is blind. God, I feel like I should look up north for that. All those people walking around with their eyes closed, but... man, I just don't know. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for now. For next time, we'll head down the alley. I think that's the most sensible choice for me. Maybe I can scrounge together some gold. I will not be able to afford a warm place to sleep tonight. That is a shame. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been the ever-lovely Sorcery. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.